Okay, time to get near to the end of the steps with the step 9. So this one made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So basically, building off the idea of like slavery and everything, this one is pretty much where we're groveling upon anyone and everyone. Oh, I'm just a worthless alcoholic. You gotta take my amendment. I'm so sorry I screwed you over. Oh yes, I'm so sorry I stole that candy bar when I was 5 years old and everything. Even though it doesn't have a direct effect in my alcohol abuse or whatever. So we're set in with this step. We're now kind of setting ourselves up to, in a sense, take the message to others and kind of the idea of misery loves company and everything. So that's the kind of the concept where with this step we're now starting to set ourselves up where we have to start bringing more people in with this step. Now, of course, like they say, making amends to people. Like, okay, again, that might sound good on the surface and everything, but it reinforces the idea of you being completely powerless, being completely hopeless and worthless and everything. So getting back to the earlier steps, this in essence is driving that home and everything. So hey, look, you're a fucking worthless alcoholic. You have to sit there and beg and grovel to everyone that you screwed over. It doesn't matter who. It's anyone and everyone. Of course, unless it might harm them and everything. So you gotta have discretion. But if the whole steps and everything, if you screw up, oh, that's all on you. But hey, look, if you get stuff right and everything, that's on the program and everything because you were able to get the program and everything. So this step again, it's pretty. You might think straightforward, hey, apologizing to people that you might have screwed over while you're drinking and everything. So yeah, of course, it's not necessarily as simple as going up to people. Hey, look, I'm sorry that I was such an asshole to you. With people that you quite possibly screwed over, friends and family and stuff and everything. It's more of your actions, what are you doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis that is actually going to prove to them oh, okay, so he's actually changed and everything. Because chances are, if you go out to most people and say, oh, I'm sorry, they're going to probably have the chance of the fuck you attitude towards you. But if you're showcasing your actions, okay, so I stopped drinking. Now I'm starting to better myself. Okay, maybe I'm an engineer and maybe I have a bachelor's or something. Now I maybe lost my job or something. Okay, I get another job in engineering or something, and when I get into that job, I'm maybe starting to work. I got my bachelor's, so maybe I start chipping away at my master's, so that way I can move on up and maybe become head of the department. So that I'm making gain progress in my career, and then maybe in my physical health. Okay, I'm starting going to the gym 3, 4, maybe 5 times a week. I'm now starting to make in a sense health gains. At least physically, mentally, what I'm doing to in a sense improve myself is maybe initially get into the therapy and getting professional help that I've mentioned before, and then getting yourself on stable mental and physical ground with your health and everything, so you can now start handling situations better. So when you do come across people, you're not just, oh, I'm a fucking worthless alcoholic, you gotta accept my apology. You're like, hey, look, I screwed up. This is what I've been doing in the last 2 years or something. I'm just kind of throwing numbers out there, and people are like, oh, okay, so and then maybe you start hanging someone you screwed up maybe comes in to work in the same department that you're, or the same company, and they see the difference and they start noticing how you're handling yourself through getting your professional help with your mental health, getting your physical health in order. Maybe like I mentioned, you're getting your career in order. Now you're also getting your finances in order too, because maybe you lost your job and now have to build yourself back up from pretty much scratch financially. People are now and then your relationships, maybe your family, that person that instead of I said, just groveling oh, I'm a worthless alcoholic, you gotta accept my apology. You're more okay, I screwed up then, this is what I've been doing, and okay, let my actions speak for themselves instead of just like letting your words let your actions do your talking instead of your words type deal. So, and then with this, like I said, it drives home that like you are groveling and kind of sniveling and like, oh, I'm just driving home. I'm a fucking worthless alcoholic. It set and in with that, it sets you up for the final three steps. And hey, look, I'm completely fucking miserable because I'm a worthless alcoholic. I'm completely powerless and I'm completely hopeless with all this. I'm completely miserable, so I need someone like to treat like shit and to make to in a sense temporarily feel better about myself because I feel like shit because I've been driven home that I'm like completely powerless, hopeless, and worthless alcoholic in these first 9 steps. So now this one, in a sense, sets you up for the basically to complete the process and bringing other people in so you can start. Oh, hey, look, I'm not the only one that's completely fucking worthless. Here's another person that's completely worthless, and now I can feel better. Like, oh, I've got 10 years sober, so now I can start treating this person like shit because they only got 2 months and everything. So, hey, you better listen to me because, like, even though I'm a worthless alcoholic, you're more worthless than I am because you only have 2 months sober and I've got 10 years. And even though technically that person that has like a 2 months may have been making more progress in those 2 months than you've done in 10 years in this program. So that's kind of like the overarching theme of these steps is it's setting you up for a lifetime of pretty much failure and kind of like putting you like a victim blaming you because hey you're the problem. Now that's not to say that like hey look you screw up and like you just don't take ownership of it and like oh I screwed up okay fuck it I don't need to take I don't need to take a responsibility. It's more about like instead of being hey I'm completely worthless being like oh hey look I screwed up let me take appropriate action to actually rectify the problem instead of just going to someone well I'm just with this alcoholic so like you just had to accept it and everything. So this step is kind of like reinforcing that like the screw you attitude that you're going to have towards yourself with doing these steps and everything. So that's why you don't necessarily want to get into this program because like I keep reiterating it sets you up to have that powerless hopelessness and worthlessness attitude towards yourself and like that you're completely like so much more worse than everyone else and like and of course there are things that you might be worse than others like I'll use quantum physics example like myself there's no way that I could ever become like a quantum physicist because I just don't necessarily have like the mental capacity to be able to understand the nuances and get like a PhD in quantum physics and be able to like in a sense go toe to toe with people that like actually have been studying it for years and got their PhD for like spent 8 years doing that go and then working in that field for 20 years there's like no way I could be able to do that. But does that necessarily make me worthless? No, I have like my own talents and my own abilities like I can have get like for instance with myself yes I'm not necessarily like a quantum physicist but I'm definitely someone who like has a decent mind and decent viewpoints for fitness and everything so I can be like oh hey here's the stuff I've come across and I can sit there and help people. Now the quantum physicist he may be able to turn around and like in a sense explain stuff to me and like well dumb it down to the point where like I could like even with like having like a college education he could dumb it down to my point of view where I may not necessarily have the mind space to be able to get like the whole like equations and stuff but he can get the be able to explain the concepts at least and make oh okay that's interesting. And so and that's the same thing like with everyone like myself like I keep using myself as an example. I might not necessarily be able to do that with the quantum physics but I might be able to do that with fitness. The next person might be able to do that with accountant or like maybe marketing or like insurance or something. So we all have like our own, like, yes, we have our weaknesses, but we also got our strengths and stuff that we can sit there and turn around and help people with. So while like someone like me, I might not be able to necessarily help people understand quantum physics, because like something I haven't studied, I haven't gone into, and like I not necessarily don't have like the capacity to get up to that level of scientific understanding. That doesn't mean that I'm sitting there like getting into the mindset of like here with the step 9, reinforcing that idea that I'm completely worthless. So this is why, like, if you ever do get into AA, you want to run away as fast as you can and get into other programs like the Smart Recovery, the like, SOS, ROR, like all the other ones that I have videos on. So here is like setting yourself up to bring in other people to start treating like trash, because you've pretty much spent 9 steps reiterating like how much of a worthless alcoholic you are, and now you got to start bringing in other people and start treating them like that with these next steps that we're going to be going, these last 3 steps that we're going to be going over.